Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Sanicball Alpha, if you've noticed there. So this is by developer BKTN and is not related in any way, shape, or form to Sonic or Sonic Team. All appearances are completely coincidental, that's what we're going to say anyway. So it's a racing game made in Unity. Kind of a bit tongue-in-cheek, obviously, as you could tell by the Sanic, instead of being Sonic. Yeah, anyway. So we're going to take a quick run through this. It is an alpha. There isn't a whole lot to see, but I did feel like I needed to just touch on it because it's a pretty silly game. And, I also mentioned it on the NLSS the other day, so it would be a little silly of me to skip it. So let's look in the options menu very briefly. Full screen, VSync, anti-aliasing. We can set up to 8x. Sound volume, and there is actually some music, which for copyright reasons I've chose to leave off. And with that, we will just start up a race. It's going to be a pretty short episode, I have a feeling. We'll do like a 2-lap, and we'll do, how many? Oh, we can do a lot. We can do a total of 24 AI balls. Let's go all the way. Let's go big or go home, right? That is a lot. All right, so we run out of Sonic characters eventually, and we end up with just generic red-shaped, oh, I guess they're supposed to be Knuckles, or, if we're going to make some sort of a derivation. But you can probably tell there are some, clearly some callbacks to the Sonic series, as I mentioned, totally coincidental, but as it were, we've got a few sounds, in fact, the checkpoints, the jumping, the aesthetics of this level are obviously supposed to be evocative of Green Hill Zone, and there's, the fact that Sonic himself generally is rolling into a ball and doing his little pinballing around thing. That sort of seems reasonable that maybe they could make like a marble style racing game, and that is exactly what's been done here. The frame rate actually takes a little bit of a hit when all these characters are jumping and running around like that. So we're going to keep making our way around, hitting some checkpoints. We've got 100 and, well, a second ago we had over 100 fasts per hour per second. And then we've got lap 1 of 2 and a timer. Not the most intense game, just because really all there is going on at this point. And again, it's an alpha, so it's kind of whatever. But it's really just, we're running around, trying not to fall off the world. And if you do fall off, you pretty much, you'll reset just fine, but you'll be at a huge disadvantage and probably not be able to recoup your time. I kind of wish some of the ground textures were a little bit more tight, like the delineation between the ground and the walls. And I'm pretty sure this was just done with like a terrain brush, which is fine. But if there were to be more levels, or if the developer chooses to polish this more, I could see there being a little bit more, finesse put into some of the geometry, because it's actually kind of a cool concept. As much as I approach this with a degree of reticence and knowing that I am sort of getting into the realm of, like, satire and parody, potentially. Oh, everybody's Knuckles has entered lap 2. What was that one? Side do? Okay, I don't even know what those names are supposed to be as a joke, even. Uh-oh, this could be a problem. Oh, no, we're good. As we kept a certain degree of velocity, and you can see all their icons on the map as we're going around. It would be cool if some of the characters has like a special ability or something too, but that might just be getting us into the realm of near absurdity. I would like to see, though, some of those concepts that we've seen in like the 3D Sonic games, where perhaps you get involved with, springs bouncing around. That could be kind of a fun thing, but I imagine would add many new levels and layers of difficulty to the how we're approaching this, and probably make it a little bit more difficult to the point where it might not be as fun. Because right now, the level is actually pretty forgiving. There's more than enough room to navigate left and right. The majority of the time, even though you can fall off most of the sides, you're probably not going to. There's enough room to, counteract any mistakes you might make. And we'll continue around here. We're almost to the end of our lap, and I'm not going to come in first, as is pretty obvious by this point. I wonder if there's an ability to cheat. Maybe I could just jump over part of the map. Well, I'm sure that's probably not being checked for at this point anyway. So let's make this big old jump. Hooray! And I love the fact that some of these sounds are the same. And I'm sure with the music also that makes it a little bit more exciting. We could even add in maybe some environmental hazards that might change your move. Of course, there would be rings and all that. We could turn this into a whole Mario Kart style affair, where if you get hit, you lose your rings, you get hit again, it like times you out or sort of knocks you out of the course for a time, just to get you, further behind, and then you can get the jockeying for position and all that. And, oh, everybody's finishing 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. I am total garbage at Sanicball. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Chili dogs! Hooray. And then that incredible tire screeching sound Which is, I guess, oh, look at that, the marbles smash into each other. That would be a thing, too. As you approach the finish line, there'd be like a target on the ground, and everybody tries to land in the center of the target, but everybody, since they're marbles, they're knocking each other out of the way. It'd be kind of a weird little twist to the end, and then the winner gets like a, level up or like a power up for the next race or something. Just wondering what happens here. I guess we're waiting for this one Knuckles to finish out that last run. But looking down at the top-down perspective of the map, I have to say, it looks pretty nice. Like I said, could use a little bit more finesse, but for now, being in alpha, pretty cool. So is that the end of our race? Everybody's come to a stop. It looks like this does not actually terminate in us going back to a menu where we would presumably like click on a different track or something. I love the faces on them, are pretty amazing as well. Probably drawn in MS Paint. They're pretty demented, but I enjoy them anyway. I want to see Big the Cat over there, but I can't get a good perspective on him because I can't really move around. I guess we'll just head back out to the menu, and forgot to actually read it. WASD, go fast, shift, brake fast, space, jump fast, and backspace, respawn fast. Everything's fast, which is something that I'm sure any Sanic fan would really appreciate. I always feel like I'm saying that with a Boston accent or something when I say Sanic. But what are you going to do? Really not a whole lot else to see or do here, so I guess we will wrap up this rather short episode. Hopefully, we'll see more of Sanicball in the future. It's surprisingly entertaining for what it is. A very simple game, it doesn't need to go too far with the concept, but if it did, there's fertile ground to be mined as well. I'm sure the developer probably doesn't want to develop this too far, especially considering, all of the pretty scary stuff you might get involved with if you go, too close to, flying too close to the sun, so to speak, with Sega, because they're particularly angry at the world for whatever reason. I'm not sure why that is. We enjoy their properties often, and they strike back for whatever reason. They don't want us to enjoy. No, they do. They just don't want us to enjoy things on our terms. They want us to enjoy them on their terms, I guess. But with that, we will wrap up another episode of Indie Impressions, and hopefully enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to let me know in the comments. I am curious to know your opinions of a game like this. What would you do to improve such a concept? What do you think was done right? What do you think you might have changed? All of that stuff is stuff that I'd love to hear in the comments. And of course, if you've enjoyed the episode, feel free to leave any support that you deem necessary. I'd appreciate any likes, of course, if you think that I deserve them. And if you'd like to mention a video to your friends, if you're a Sanic fan, I'm pretty sure might be an interesting thing to know about. The game is totally free, by the way, so feel free to go grab it. Of course, it pretty much has to be, since this is not affiliated with Sega and all of that. But yeah, that is going to do it, guys. Check out the description for the download link if you want to grab it. Pass it along, tell a friend, and be sure to stop by all of my other sites if you haven't already. I've got my Twitter, which is right available in the description, as well as my Facebook page and indie-impressions.com. Of course, if you'd like to go browse over there, over 500 other indie games that I've covered in the series, all of which have videos done by me, and all of which are sorted and categorized, so you can sort through them and look at them in any way you see fit. If you'd like to browse for the free games, if you want to browse for the surreal games, the arcade games, the Steam games, Desera, so on and so forth, that's all available over there, as well as forums and all kinds of other goodies. So hopefully you'll stop by, and hopefully you'll come back again tomorrow, because I do a new episode of Indie Impressions every single day. So I will see you back here around 3 p.m. or so Eastern, because that's pretty much when I always post them on youtube.com/RockLeeSmile. So I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you tomorrow, and I hope you have a lovely night. Talk to you later.